everybody. Welcome to Adobe
Hey.
Office Hours. Today we're talking all about what's new in Lightroom. If you don't want to hear us talk and make announcements at the beginning, hit Control Right, and you'll jump straight to the content. All right, Nick. Hello, welcome. How
Hey.
was your week?
Everything's great. And it's Thursday. It feels so weird being here. We were just saying it feels like Friday the minute we start putting something together for the show.
It's
It's just
true.
ingrained,
It's
right?
true. So,
Yeah.
welcome to a special Thursday stream of Adobe Office Hours. Nick, we had a big release and update this week. What happened this week?
Yeah, huge updates and upgrades with Lightroom. And we're going to show you guys some of our favorite things and some of the cool new features that it can do. I'm just going to say it. Everything I've seen is just saving you time, effort, getting you more efficient.
It's so good.
Incredible intuitive stuff. So can't
It's
wait to
so
show
good.
you guys.
So if you haven't updated your Creative Cloud, you haven't updated your Lightroom, you can do it very easily by opening up the Creative Cloud desktop app. And all you're going to do is when you click on all apps, it will show you next to Lightroom. It will say update needed. You also can click on updates here and it will show you all the updates that you need. As you can see, there were updates 7 days ago for InDesign, 2 days ago, 2 days ago. So there's a lot of updates that just went out.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be covering everything that is new in Lightroom, Lightroom Classic, a little bit of Lightroom Mobile. So maybe not everything, but we're going to try our best to show you everything.
I would say honestly, through everything we've experienced over the last year or two, Lightroom's the one thing that's really I use the most.
Yes,
That
and
has
I
been
think that we've done
introduced
the
from us,
least
right?
amount of content on Lightroom.
I
So-
know it's always kind of creeps up, particularly when we did mobile and some other stuff. But anxious to show you guys a little bit about what we're gonna do today.
Yep. I do want to make a couple quick announcements for y'all.
Oh, yes.
First of all, if you want to be featured on today's episode, check out our Discord. Discord.gg/ACC. Drop a headshot in here and we may edit it live on the show. We are going to be doing some retouching today. So if you want to have your headshot retouched for free, take a selfie, post a headshot, whatever you want. We'll retouch it today and feature some people in our community.
Great idea. It looks like Dwight's ready.
Dwight is ready.
Dwight is ready.
Dwight is absolutely ready. And Nick, we have a couple things coming up next week.
Yeah.
What are we doing for next week's show? Do you remember?
I do remember we're going to be looking at all the new 3D features that are available in Adobe Illustrator.
Yes. So tons of cool stuff
Hello.
coming that is in Adobe Illustrator. Great new 3D stuff. So if you want to learn all about 3D, you can actually join us for the entirety of next week. So Office Hours will be 3D back at our regular time. I will be hosting a series of creative challenges at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time, all on 3D. And then we also will be having some special features all week from San Francisco Design Week. Adobe is presenting at San Francisco Design Week, so we will be showing you some awesome 3D stuff as well as some other presentations, some other cool stuff that is coming. Some of that's going to be right here on Adobe Live. Some of that is going to be on the website for SF Design Week. So check that Adobe Live schedule to see what you can watch next week.
Excellent.
All right, one more announcement. If you haven't skipped
Yes.
by this point, Control Right if you want to go to the content. One more announcement, and then we'll hop in. And that is next week, we have a very special set of Photoshop challenges coming as well because we are joining the Create Waves initiative. Nick, do you love the ocean?
I do, but I'm deathly scared of it. to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I actually saw some videos about like things that live in the ocean, and I was like, okay, I want to keep them alive,
Don't-
but I also don't want to be near them.
Don't ruin my Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm like, let's like preserve the ocean. I'll like
Yeah.
look at it and it will be
But
beautiful.
what is this? Tell us a little bit
Yeah,
more
this is
about
a great
that.
initiative that Adobe put on. You can just search Create Waves, Adobe, and we're creating self-portraits. And there is a toolkit that has all kinds of remixable designs in Adobe Express and even some stock assets for you to work with. So you can join Wade Acuff next week at 9 a.m. Pacific time for a new challenge in that theme for the entire week next week. So tons of great content coming to you. And Wade is our moderator. He's here in chat. Wade, those streams are going to be awesome. I'm super excited to tune in and watch them. All right, Nick.
I think we've covered. Did we just about cover everything?
I think we
we're
covered
good.
literally everything. All right, it
Yeah.
is time for us to intro into our episode about Lightroom. This is where all the people that didn't skip and didn't want to listen to us are going to come in. Nick, do
Yes.
the honors with your new microphone and start us into the
Yes,
lesson with
let's
a
do
nice
that.
little intro. All right. And 3, 2, 1.
There we go. Welcome to our Lightroom update. We're going to show you guys everything that has been adapted and changed and updated. Some really good stuff. I like this because to me, Lightroom is I go there before I will go to Photoshop, to be honest with you, when it comes to this stuff, because I just really feel more comfortable in this situation and everything that they put together with Lightroom. Do you feel the same? Like, I know
I do.
you're a Photoshop power user too, but like, to me, if it's the quick edits, it's those things that I just need to get in there and like make some changes to the photos that I need to like kind of make some adaptations to or make some edits. To me, it's just a fun place to start. It's real intuitive and it's not that intimidating to someone that is not into photography.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely. It's kind of fun. I think it's the funnest product to learn. That's how I feel about
I
it.
totally agree. That's a great way to look at it for sure.
All right, so let's go ahead and hop in, Nick. I'm going to transition over to your screen. And where are we starting today?
All right, so we want to show a bit of like what they've done with presets. Presets have always been there, but they've added some cool new features that are going to like not only again speed up your kind of productivity and efficiencies, but you're going to be able to get into these things and fine tune some of the presets a little bit more. And I think that's one of the coolest things that I love about this. And one of the first ones I'm going to start with is just a nice kind of simple shot like this that we found on Adobe stock. And presets could always be found right here. You've got your presets in your edit area. You know, here's where you can obviously go down and do all of your incredible individual edits and things like that. But when we go to presets, what we have here are these portraits. We've got all of these different things for lighting, you name it.
And
But
like, I
what's
think the majority of those are new. Like, there is a ton of new
Yes.
presets. There have been presets in the past. There is like a mother load of
This is
presets
incredible.
now. Yes.
Now, what I love about these is like it brings kind of the simplistic vibe of presets that you might be used to on maybe social media or anything, but they're taking it to like the Adobe level, which you look here and we're just in deep skin for portrait, right? Now, I'm not in a portrait, so I'm going to close that, but I'm going to go down to maybe style and we'll go to like vintage, right? So as you hover over, you can see all the slight details of what it's doing to this picture. But here's the new part.
Also,
When
the
you're on
live
any of
preview,
these-
sorry, the live preview right there, magical. This is like when we
Look
put
at that.
the blending modes into Photoshop. You can just
Yeah.
hover over and it just shows you.
Love this vibe. Now let's see, we're on the VN08 one right here that we like. And this one to me is exactly kind of where I'm at. Click on it and something totally new comes out. And this is the amount scale.
Brand
So
new.
here is where I can kind of like actually go and go like, you know what? I want it maybe 200%. I want to get that completely in that zone that I liked with vintage. Okay.
Yep. And
So
I
you
love
got-
this. I love this
Yeah.
because there's so many times you see a preset and you're like, ooh, I like the purple shadows, but you can't get enough. And I love being able to be like, give me
Exactly.
those purple shadows.
Yeah, there you go. So again, let's go to cinematic and I'm going to go over and I'm like, oh, wow, that's a little too dark.
Ooh, M. Night Shyamalan.
Right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Look at the almost black and white plus color on that one.
That's cool.
And to me, someone again, like I said, not really good at photo editing oh, look at this one. Oh my God. With the red inside the palms. Like that's kind of,
that's a
crazy.
campaign right there.
There you go. So like, okay, clicking on that, I'm going to find something here that I think maybe even, dare I say, accidentally is going to be kind of something I'm looking for, right? Like to me, I just kind of luck out with these things. So
Yes.
let's go back to this one. Now, again, look at this. Like as I'm drawing it and I'm getting like deeper and deeper, all of a sudden I'm getting the vibes of maybe this vintage travel that I want to do. So I've got something really cool here to kind of mess around with. So what's nice is notice all the column on the right. As I'm doing this, you can see all those little kind of nodes are kind of changing. So it's kind of doing the work for you. I'm going to actually just see what this would look like swinging it back this way. Now, look, I get a totally different, brighter, clean, but it's got that just slight noise in it that maybe was missing at the beginning.
And
so
we're pulling,
you're going to
like,
find that perfect thing.
Yeah, you're not having to deal with all of the sliders. I love that it shows you all the sliders that are moving. That it's like,
Yes.
cool, it is one button now. It is not
There you
all
go.
of the individual things. It is literally one slider, and then it fixes everything for you.
So what a great thing to have. They're all there in any of your presets. which is really great to kind of just explore and see what's cool and unique. But what they've done now is they've taken it a bit further. I'm going to go back here. Let's get one that I haven't touched. I'm going to go to this one right here.
And while you load this real quick, I want to answer a question. So someone in chat, our live chat, if you're watching the replay, this is a live show, 2:30 p.m. every Friday. Nick, Peter is asking how to submit their headshots into Discord. Super easy. Go right here, discord.gg/ACC. Our moderator will drop a link for you. And then all you're going to do on this edge right here on the corner is scroll down to the Creative Basics 101. Office Hours is our group, and you can toss it into this Creative Basics channel. Just drag and drop into that Discord, and we'll be able to see it. And let me know when you have dropped your headshot in there.
Make it a good one, Peter.
Make it a good one. Man. We'll make you glow. All right, Nick, back to what you were doing.
All right, so we've looked at presets. We've looked at how you can actually change the amounts. We can go in there and fine tune it. What they've done now is they've made 2 other versions that are quite amazing, and they've made them adaptive. And this is kind of like auto masking while using a preset. So it kind of puts a lot of these things together that you probably are doing in 2 to 3 different steps. So I'm going to go back to my edit one here. We're going to go to presets. And what I'm going to do is now I'm actually wanting to do some stuff to the sky on this. So if you scroll around, you're going to see adaptive sky. I'm going to open that here. Now, just like we did earlier, I'm just going to hover. So we get blue drama. You can see that. Oh, yeah, amazing.
Blue drama, gosh.
Dark drama.
That's my nickname.
We got neon tropics. Look at that. Like, again, what a totally different vibe it's adding. Storm clouds, look at the contrast it adds. So here's a great point. That's a great preset, right? We're like, great. But just like we saw with the previous step, if I click on it here, we get the amount scale again.
Yep.
So if you think this might be too much and it's add a little bit too much of a stormy cloud, we can bring it over a little bit more here.
Yep.
See how it looks. Now,
I like that the presets sound like horoscope titles. Like, I feel like I would open an app and it would be like, today it's going to be neon tropical for you. Like, it feels like that. I love that you like understand through as you select them.
So I'm going to get rid of that sunset. Almost made it feel a little artificial to the mountains below. So I'm going to kind of go into sunset and bring that down a little bit, thinking that might help a little bit, which is kind of cool. So again, don't forget, with this adaptive, you've got all of these great things. Not only are they there, and they're only affecting the sky when you are on adaptive sky.
Yep.
And just like this, they're giving you a whole other way to make it, and they're doing adaptive subjects. So what are we going to do? We're going to go back here. And let's say I'm going to go with this one here, because this one's a great image, but it kind of, if you kind of look at it, you got a really burnt out background.
Yeah.
He's getting a little light on him as well. So let's say we just want to work on him and do a few things to get him as the subject a little bit more out there. So we're going to go back here, go back to presets. I'm going to change adaptive sky and close that. And look at this right below it.
Adaptive subject.
So
ooh, we said it in unison. That was nice. I like it.
Yeah. Look at that. We got him to pop just by hovering over again. Do we want the warm pop? Look at that. Nice change there. Soft. Notice we really are highlighting the image. The subject of him is really kind of showing off a little bit more. We've got cool soft. Let's see what vibrant looks like. Ooh, vibrant's kind of nice as well. So guess what it can also do, guys? You named it. It can actually do amounts as well.
Sliders, baby.
We are just going right in there, and we are going to kind of pop that up a little bit more. Let's see. Oh, yeah, look at that. We got a great vibrancy coming through there a little bit. And maybe what I could do is like now go back to that softer one and like take that softness down a little bit. There we go. And this is great. And then even look at this glow. If you're trying to go for more of a saturated kind of like giving it like a little bit more of that kind of like natural morning daylight coming in there, you've got all of these things ready to go. And keep in mind, everything else is still active. We've got all these other ones that you can still go into, and we can go in there, but wanted to really highlight those 2 adaptive ones. You've got both sky and subject. I'm sure others will follow down the road, but like what a great way to kind of like not be intimidated and go in there and only make the changes to the things you want without even having to build a single mask or anything.
Magic.
So, pretty amazing.
Magic.
What are you going to show us, man?
So real quick, Peter is still having trouble with Discord. Peter, if you want to send a DM on Behance to either Wade or even Colby to someone else, if you want to send a DM of that picture to Wade, he can drop it into Discord for you here on Behance. Maybe easy. I think the DMs are easy on Behance. So if you want to try that, give it a shot and we'll see what happens. All right, let's go ahead. I am going to be working in Lightroom Classic today. So there are a lot of overlaps in the programs, in the features. But I'm going to be looking at Lightroom Classic, and I'm going to be showing you a couple different things. I'm going to show you basically how to do what Nick did, but across multiple pieces. So you can batch edit photos, which is so powerful and super amazing. So what I'm going to do here first is I want to edit this photo. This is in San Francisco. And this is, I think, like I don't know what this is. It's the City Hall in San Francisco. I mean that it's not. It's a basilica.
Is it? Yeah,
all right.
It looks like a basilica.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is there are a couple things that we can play around with. There are new masking features in Lightroom and Lightroom Classic that are incredible. And when Nick was using those filters, it was technically using the masking. It just wasn't showing you. So I want to show you some masking here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on masking, and then we are going to click on select sky. And real quickly, check this out. Select sky. It's going to detect the sky. It's saying, where's the sky? And boom. Check that out. It has detected the sky. And look at how clean this is. Like, it has found the sky. And then we also can see
every little nook and cranny.
Yep. We can also see if we pop this out, it's showing us what masks we have, right? So we have the sky. That's great. But maybe I want to edit everything other than the sky, right? All the other pieces. Check this out. All we need to do is click here, duplicate and inverse mask, and it's going to make another mask of everything else for me.
That's so cool.
Magic.
That's really cool.
Magic. So what I can do now is I can go into those presets, and we're going to go back and click on one of these presets. You can see the adaptive sky here. I'm going to select my sky mask right there. We'll turn that overlay off for now. And you can see as I hover over these, it is giving me, look at those skies.
Wow.
So I really like the Neon Tropics. No, let's do Dark Drama. Dark Drama is giving me like really intense vignettes. So I'm just going to click on Dark Drama, and you see that it's actually made a Dark Drama mask for me. So that's what Nick was doing. So I can go in and I can edit individually with a mask that I made by selecting the sky, or I can use the adaptive and it will make that mask for me. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one.
It's almost giving you auto masks and layers as you apply. It's almost showing you the steps that the actual program is doing in the background.
Yep. So check this out. So now I have my sky, right? But there isn't an adaptive to find like buildings and stuff. Using the subject might work, but just inverting the sky to say, I want everything that's not the sky. I can click on my mask inverted here, and you can see all of my edits come over, turn off that overlay, and we're going to go ahead and change the contrast. We want that really contrasty. You can see it changing that building. I want it to match what's happening with the sky. So very HDR, high contrast. Maybe I want to add in those highlights really bright, the shadows getting a little bit darker, pull those whites down just a little bit. I want them white, but not that much. So it's looking pretty intense. The yellow's too much. We'll get it nice and blue, a little purple tint maybe. Sure.
There you go.
That's looking all right to me. So that looks good. Now, there's a problem. This bicycle is a problem. It's a big problem. So what we can do here is we can actually just grab the spot removal tool. And with this, we can click and drag over. We can change the size and the feather. I am going to feather it just a little bit. And then we can click and drag over this bicycle.
And you're just trying to paint it in one nice kind of swoop.
One little swoop right there. So it's not going to do exactly what I want because of like the weirdness of these angles, but we can get pretty close. All you need to do is it shows where it's pulling from. So we can click and drag and it will actually pull from other parts of the photo. So that looks pretty close to me. Let's go ahead and hit done there. It's not super noticeable right there. So it's looking good to me. And the next thing that I want to do is straighten this. Now, there are new crop features here in Lightroom Classic. We can click on crop overlay, and this is the smallest thing, but instead of cropping to thirds, we can now crop to fifths. There is a new overlay. Ooh, right? Where are my buttons? Where's my button for fifths? Hold on. Wait for it.
Is it under a different area?
Oh, no. No, not what I want. Oh, no, I don't know where it is. You can show fifths. It is possible now to show fifths instead of thirds.
It's uneven,
I don't remember where it is. Yes. So you can't see that. But I do want to straighten this image. And so what's great is I can just go ahead and come in here and let's fix this level by just hitting the straighten tool. And what you
Love
do
it.
with the straighten tool is you click and drag across an area that should be straight. So we let go and boom, it's tilted us so that that area is straight. So it's great to find a horizon line.
Yeah.
And now we're going to hit done. So now we've got this awesome photo that is perfectly straight. All the colors are good. The sky is separate. The bike is gone. And we have another angle, right?
Yeah.
In
And we've
theory,
created a whole
I'd
new
have to
mood.
go back and like do the entire thing. No
Yeah.
more. Check this out. So with this photo selected, I can right click and go to develop settings and copy settings. So from here, when we're copying the settings, I want to make sure that my masking is selected. I'm dark drama and mask 1 inverted, right?
Yeah.
Next, I'm going to grab the crop. I want to change the crop, keep all that. We'll keep the lens transforms. We'll keep the transforms, just have everything selected and hit copy. Now, we're going to come to this photo, and this is amazing. Right click, develop settings, paste settings, and watch what happens.
Amazing.
So not only has it copied the lighting and all that, it has copied all of my masks. So that if I come over here, the masks are there. It has also copied the healing that I did with that bicycle. So if you're working with a photo shoot where someone has maybe a blemish on their face, you can literally just fix that blemish and then apply it to all of those photos.
And it will find it in each one.
Yes. And someone is telling me thank you to our great audience. Tools. And then you go to crop guide. And you can change it to all kinds of things like fifths. There we go. Look at that magic.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, Nick, you have something else, I think, to show us in Lightroom. What do we want to show in Lightroom?
What was next on our list? I can't remember if we had. Oh, we were going to get into, I believe, the compare mode, but that's when we needed. Did you have a few that were ready, like from the same shoot at the same time?
Yeah, I'll do the compare mode. Let's do it. All right.
See how that looks.
So let's do this. I'm going to come over here and we're going to do another quick selection since we're already in masking. I have all of these photos from my friend who opened a Chick-fil-A. And he hired me to come up and take pictures of the store for them to use in promo stuff, right?
Yes.
So in theory, we can use some of the things that we have learned. Nick, what tools should we use here that we have just learned about?
Ooh, presets maybe?
Yep. Well, where should we start?
Do that. Let's see.
Somewhere
Sky
up here? Yeah, let's fix the sky.
Yeah.
So let's do the Neon Tropics here because I think that the Neon Tropics looks good. We need that vibe.
Someone needs a vacation.
Oh, I'm ready for the Neon Tropics. Look at that sky, though. That sky's really gorgeous.
All of a sudden, it's just more interesting right off the bat. You didn't even do anything to like our subject, which is the building.
So the Neon Tropics looks good. It did darken it a little bit too much for me. So I can just come into the masking here and I can select that Neon Tropics and look at it. It's actually showing me everything that's happening. So if you want to understand what's happening, you can just select that mask and then come over to your edits. So here I do want to take that exposure up a little bit and then maybe these highlights went down too far. So I do want a little bit more of that cloud and then maybe a little bit more contrast. Actually, let's pull the whites up and the highlights down. So there we go. Looks good. So now I maybe want to grab the rest of the store, right? So easy. We can click here. We just learned about this. Duplicate and inverse. And now we have our store. I can come in here and maybe I want like a retro look to it. And so we can turn off that overlay, hover over, and it will give me that kind of retro look. Oh, it's applying to the whole thing. All right, let's just edit it. Neon Tropics, inverted, white. There we go. All right, so let's just edit it on our own here. Let's grab exposures. We want some contrast there. Highlights. We want the whites down to really show off the store. And then I definitely want some texture and clarity right there. All right, so it's looking really moody. And Nick, this concrete, I want to really drop out. So this is another new selection masking tool. We can go ahead and select masking right here. And we are going to select by range. So we're going to click on create new mask and we are going to hit color range. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in here by just hitting Z. We're going to drag over and this red that I see on the Chick-fil-A sign, I want that to be like red. So we're going to click create new mask, color range, and then select this red right here. So I'm going to maybe click on a few different reds and I'm just holding shift and it's going to show me all of the different reds that I am selecting. So that red looks pretty good. Maybe let's grab a red that's on the curb here as well. just to make sure we have all those reds, and then another red maybe here. So we're gonna zoom out. We have all those reds selected, and with that mask, you can actually see all the pieces of that mask. We're gonna go ahead and just crank those up. So the exposure, look at that, it's pulling all of those reds exactly how I want them. So we're gonna increase the contrast. I want to increase that saturation all the way up. And then maybe the exposure is gonna go up on those a little bit more. So it's giving me that bright, bright red. And I can do the same thing. I can create a new mask. We can go to color range, and I can grab the concrete down here and really make it so that those are really, really dark. But we're seeing that it's grabbing too much of those blacks. I can use the slider here to slide down, and it will give me less of those. So I can keep going here. I want a lot less on that. Just that red. All right, so just the black. We're gonna take the exposure down, and you can see all that exposure is going down. Maybe those shadows really need to crunch. The blacks crunch all the way down. And so you can see that we're getting that nice contrast all with using those different masks, right? So we've done a ton of masking here. Watch what happens now. Right click, develop settings, copy settings. We want to make sure our masking is turned on. Hit copy. Now we're going to select all of these photos holding shift, and we are going to right click, develop settings, paste settings. Watch this.
Good question.
It's finding.
There you go.
So watch what happens. It is going to find all of the color ranges that we selected, as well as all of the skies that we selected, and it is going to re-edit those for us. So it's thinking about it, it's finding all the skies, doing all of those adaptive filters, and look at this. So now
You totally changed the whole day, the whole vibe, the whole personality of each image.
Yep, and I didn't have to edit this at all. Like, I literally didn't even know that this photo existed. So what we can do now is we can see the before and after by going to View, Before and After, and we can do split screen. This is a cool way to see what's happening. Or you can go to View, Before and After, and split screen. There we go. And so this is really cool to see what is different. And you can actually zoom in, and it will show you as you change things.
Oh, like keep it right in between the logo, and you can see the total difference of the red.
Oh yeah, right there. Yep. See the red that's coming through there. So you can see that we have adjusted a lot of stuff. Oops, I just didn't edit. I didn't want to do. And we've adjusted all of those things, which looks really, really great. So Nick, you have some really weird photos that we're going to take a look at. And this is such a niche thing, but it, I guess, is still needed in photography. Nick, what are we doing with these children's eyes and these pictures' eyes?
And you know, we've all got them, particularly from maybe camera rolls or old pictures from the past where you got those just saturated red eyes.
Yes.
And they've created a whole new filter. It's just a very simple one-touch vibe here. So I'm going to click on here and we're going to be like, yikes, right? Immediately. Yes. Like, what's going on? You hit the healing brush, and there's a totally new thing here with the red eye. You click on it. I can obviously go in and mess around with some more, but autocorrect will instantly take it and try to get the best kind of size and the best kind of color. But what's great is I can go in here and I can kind of go like, you know what, it was just a bit too dark. And we can go in there and kind of lighten it up a little bit more. And I wanted to see how this works for even this one here, because this one's got a close-up and we can really see what it's going to do when we're here. So we're going to go right back to healing brush. We'll go to the red eye removal and the autocorrect. No, oh, I guess because it didn't have the full, oh, I got to do this then, huh? Look at this. There we go.
Boom, masking in that red eye. And if it's going over the color of their eye, it actually, like, you'll have to pick out what color it is because it's really just taking that red out.
Look at that. That's pretty neat. So I can actually, there we go. So we can go in there and do those ones all on our own and get that a little bit more autocorrect. And that last one, I want to see if it will do that. This one almost looks like someone painted it. It looks completely gone.
That is red.
Let's see if it helps here, and we can get a really quick one. Oh, perfect. A little dark. We lighten it up a little bit. Here we go. And we got something a little bit better, a little starting point to kind of see. And hey, another cool tool they've added for us to do it in like one quick shot.
Right? Magic. All right. Yep. So I do want to show something else that is brand new in Lightroom, in Lightroom Mobile. And that's something very special over here. I finally got the headshot. So we have a headshot in from our community. This is our friend Frank. If you look closely here, There's a word that we've never seen in Lightroom before.
What's that?
It is videos. That's right.
What?
Lightroom now has video support. Like, what? So we have video support now in Lightroom. I simply clicked and dragged to pull the videos into Lightroom. And if we click here, let's see what one of these videos are. Let's double click on this one. And you see it opens the video just like it would. And let's see if it plays.
I hope it's not
Another
one of my bad
episode
bloopers.
of Office Hours is up this Friday, and it's going to be extra tasty. Nick, what are we talking about?
We're going to be sharing our recipes for success. Anything we've done in the past that has helped our career.
Oh, they can hear it. You
became
can't.
more creative.
Oh,
everything
perfect.
like that.
Okay,
What
yeah,
else
okay.
are we talking about?
I also will be sharing my favorite holiday recipe, and I believe Nick will as well.
Oh, how we've
It's going to be a
grown.
fun show, so tune in this Friday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for another episode of Adobe Office Hours. See you there. See you there.
Nice.
All right, so we have this video here, and let's say that I want to, I don't like the way that, it feels like a lot. Like, we want to maybe add some tone control. So it looks a little crazy. We can click on auto right here, and it's going to fix those tones for us. So what's complicated about this one is Nick's tones are very different from my tones.
Yeah.
So
Two
doing the
different
auto tone,
environments.
it's going to really blow it out. But check this out. I can go and just bring this down using the slider and change the exposure. Maybe I want a little more color here, so I can increase the vibrance. You can see it increasing over on my skin. We can change the white balance. If I want to do custom white balance, we can change the temperature to maybe be a little bit warmer. And then maybe we want to change the tone to be a little more green or maybe a little more purple since I have more purple in my room. So you can see that we're changing that by just using these sliders a little bit at a time. Now, if you want to trim these, you can do that in Lightroom Mobile as well. You can trim them, you can crop them, you can change the rotate,
everything,
you can
flip.
do all kinds of stuff in Lightroom Mobile. Now, the cool thing with this as well as we can come in here and check this out. We can kind of scrub through if we want. And let's say that there was too much at the beginning. We can grab this and we're just going to cut this video down a little bit. Magic. Also, we can capture a frame. If you just want to grab a single frame out of here, maybe I like this picture of me as a headshot. I can come in here and just hit capture frame, and it's going to capture that frame from the video with me.
Wow.
Magic. Magic. So we have it cropped in, and you can see that it actually goes to 24 seconds. So if I pull it in here, it's now 18 seconds. And if I hit play, so let's go ahead and just crop this and hit play.
Recipes for success. Anything we've done in the past that has helped.
All new settings, right?
Yep.
for
So now it is
success.
all new
Anything
settings.
we've
It is
done in the-
actually just cropped down to that size. Now,
That's amazing.
here's the real kicker, Nick. If we have a bunch of different shots, we want to make sure that the color grading is the same. Right click, develop settings, copy
go
settings. Yep. We're going to hit copy, select these two, and we're going to right click, develop settings, paste settings. Boom. Now our video is synced across. Even though the backgrounds are different, it is syncing all of those settings, and you can see my skin tones are staying pretty much exactly the same regardless of what the video was. So if you want to do this, it's great for if you're a filmmaker and have like 90 shots, color grade one of them, then sync it. Just sync it across.
What's in your opinion, what's the advantage of Lightroom now having video editing like this, or at least video color correcting?
It's so quick and it's so familiar. I think that people are used to working in Lightroom for playing with light, obviously, and kind of changing things around. And so to me, it feels like it's just familiar and easy to be able to throw that together really quickly.
Perfect.
So Nick, there are some other ways that we can learn and we can get some more information. Let's check out a tab, and can you go back and show people how you got here? If you want more information and you want to play around and learn Lightroom, you can actually do it in a new tab. Nick, take it away.
Yeah, so we've got Discover. You know, Discover just finds its way into almost every single app now.
It's true.
This is great. It's just for you to not only discover new artists, new photographers, in particularly whatever app you're talking about, but now it also has great learning and unique things. What I found was immediately when I went here and I went to the For You section, it gave me some people to kind of start looking through and going like, is this someone you want to save? Is this a great preset that this person has created? Look at this one as well. Save this preset. So I'm just going to click on that, save this one here. Now, if that's the kind of look, oh, I love that. Okay, I didn't even know it did that. When you hover over it, you get the original.
You get to see what the original is.
What this featured preset is going to do. So again, if that is the vibe, if this is something that you're looking for, like this one here as well, I love that because it's showing me the beginning and I can be like, that's exactly the after I want. So let me save that preset as well.
You know what's funny, Nick,
there.
is as I was looking at the Discovery, that's also the one that I went to. I was like, these tones are so gorgeous.
Look
and I was
at
like,
this.
I have to have that
great.
preset.
Now this is killer. Trending. You get this whole section to see kind of what's rising to the top. What are a lot of the top photographers doing? What's selling, I think, is a lot here. So I would love this as an advantage to show off to maybe a client. If we're working on photo styles for their brand, we can find what's truly trending and what's something we can maybe like start exploring.
Yep.
And not only that, I can just download the preset and get that right off the bat and have some fun with it.
Yep.
So you can see you've got all different kinds of things here as well.
What's cool here too is we're going to pop back to my screen. So I'm in Lightroom now as well. The Discovery is in Lightroom. If I want to come here, I can literally click on preset downloadable, right? And that's going to show me that there's a preset that's downloadable. And then maybe I want to type in portrait. So I'm going to hit enter and it will actually show me all kinds of different portrait effects. And I really like this one. This one feels very clean. Actually, let's do this black and white one. I think this looks pretty cool. So you can see the original, very colorful, and then you see that black and white. So I'm going to save as preset because I like the tones of this. That looks great. We are going to select all of these pieces because we want to have the preset include all of those. We'll hit save. And now watch this. I'm going to grab the photo that we have of our friend. I am going to bring it into Lightroom. One second, I need to go back to our develop. Where am I? All right, let's go ahead and drag this in. Why can I not import this? All right, hold on. File, import. Let's do this. All right, Nick, we're gonna go back to your screen real quick just for a second. So we're gonna go to add photos.
Gotcha.
Nick, what are you doing over here? Sorry, you're already remixing it. So how did you get here?
I went into remix. Yeah.
Yes. So can you show how to remix something so they can kind of play around with it?
Yeah. So let's see. Let's go back to cancel. We will cancel and disregard here. And I'm doing this for the first time. So let's discover together. I saw this, remix the edit. I was just kind of looking through all these, got into remix. We're going to click on that. And what I'm assuming this is going to do when I see a next is it's going to show me each step that I'm probably going to have to take to go here. So we're going to go to next, unable to share your edit. I guess I'm doing something wrong here.
Okay. So let's look.
What did I do wrong?
Let's look real quick, and I can kind of show what I'm working on. I finally got the portrait in. So this is from Franck. Yes, it's from Franck. And we had that preset that I really liked that was black and white. I can simply click on presets right here, and we can look at yours, saved from Discover, and then click right here. I can change the amount that I want here, really play around with kind of the tones that I want to look. So let's say I think that this portrait maybe needs a little more of an intense look. So I can come in here and look at recommended, and it's going to analyze the photo for me and then recommend different community presets for me that might look good on this photo, right? So it's probably thinking right now, it is a portrait, there's a face, it's a light background. And so I can scroll down and I love this look right here. This very like HDR look. I think that looks cool. I think if I pull it in too much, it's gonna be a little too intense, but maybe I wanna do some highlights on the face, right? A little bit more glow on the face. I can leave these presets and then do masking and add whoopsies. And again, there are great tutorials in the app for you if you want. So you can come in here and we're just going to do maybe a radial gradient. We'll click and drag over his face and really the center here. And then we can play around with the exposure by just bringing it up to give it a little more of that pop, right? So it's looking...
This looks like you took from a old phone and now it's like total studio.
Right?
Incredible.
And so what I like to do here is I'm actually going to add in some grain because it will make it look like, again, it has kind of been in that old studio. So we can put the grain and just bring that grain up. And now when we zoom in here, look at that. We've got that nice grain. This is looking like an awesome photo. And we can go to the view and then we can look at that before and after, which is different here in Lightroom. I believe that you can just click. Hold on. I think.
Oh, it's the bottom. Is
bottom,
it the bottom right there?
Right. You're right. There we go.
Right that way.
There we go. That is the before.
Oh my
And that is the after. Look at the difference and how quickly we did that.
Even just look at how much texture and like personality comes through in the shirt material too.
Yes.
I hate to say it looks like it went from a $10 t-shirt to a $100 t-shirt.
That's it. That's it. It is an expensive t-shirt.
That is killer.
Nick, you were doing something. What were you doing over there? Did you want to show something?
I followed your footsteps, and I had this kind of this unique image that's just kind of, I don't know, it's perfect as is, right? Like, what else can you do with it? But what I realized was you had that whole recommendation section here as well, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. So can you show that off? I showed it a little bit, but do you have any photos that aren't people or maybe like a little bit different? Let's see if it recommends different filters on maybe that bridge photo that you have.
This one here?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So we're going to get that. We go right back into presets, and we're going to click on this recommended tab here at the top. Now, what's neat is you got a few things to start you off here. Do you want it subtle? Do you want it strong? Do you want to go to black and white? I'm going to do strong just to get some drastic changes here and see. It's calculating a few recommended things. Look at the first one that popped up. You're like, what the heck? This is crazy. So look at this. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. So I'm going to double click on that. I'm assuming I'm going to get that. Look at that. Are you kidding me? This is just crazy. And that's strong. We've made some advanced kind of changes here as well. What's great, look at this. We have the amount scale. So if it's a little too much for you, you can bring it back. And this is off of a recommended preset that it's like calculating, not even a real preset. It's more like using the image itself, right? So let's go to cool and see what happens here. So we can get some cool ones here and see what that looks like.
I like that that you can search by just like emotions and feelings and like kind of what you want to convey with your photo. And you can do it very quickly. Look at that's changed to like a full sunset night shot.
There you go. Cinematic. We got HDR. So amazing stuff here that you could do. And I'm assuming that yours is where anything I have created or found on the Discover section here as well. User presets, right? This is everything that's your own look and feel that you've kind of downloaded. Oh, look at that. It's just freaking beautiful.
Right?
It's amazing.
Nick's so excited about this.
Love this. Oh my God. I'm an instant photo editor, guys.
Photo editor.
Thank you, Lightroom.
So let's go ahead and let's pop back over to my screen. There we go. We finally have the picture. We got the picture of our friend Peter. And so we are going to use the same thing. We're in Lightroom now. And we're going to use some of the same things that we used in Lightroom Classic. We are going to use that select subject. So I'm going to select subject, and it's going to detect that subject for me and create a mask. So it is found, look at how, hold on.
Wow.
Look at how well it found like the eyes there, or sorry, the edges of the hair.
Yes.
Magic.
Wow.
So let's go ahead and we can turn the overlay off for now on our mask. And let's go ahead and change some things here. So we want to change the exposure. Let's go ahead and just pull this up. And we're going to do a bunch of individual edits here. Want a little more contrast in the face. I'm going to pull the temperature a little bit warmer here to make it a little more happy. And then maybe some of those purple undertones, just balance it out with a little bit of green. So I'm just pulling the green back a little bit.
What tips do you have for people that are just completely clueless on what to go to first? Like when you break it down, like when you looked at that picture, what did you look at and say, I got to fix immediately?
Yep. So think about the emotions that you want to convey, right? So here, I immediately think I'm looking at the building before I'm looking at him because the background is much brighter, right? So I think we need to brighten him. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the exposure in our mask of him and bring up that exposure to give him a little bit more light, right? I want to make sure that we have a good contrast between the smile, between the hair, that we have all those shadows shining through. So we increase the contrast a little bit. Usually I change the highlight, shadows, whites, and blacks at the end. I do all my other edits and then come back and fix those. I want it to feel a little bit like a warmer, sunny day. And so using the temperature, you can pull it to the right. It's going to make things much more sunny and fun. Let's go ahead and click that mask. There we go. It's going to make things like really intense. We don't want it that intense. We do want a little bit of warmth and sun bounce in there. And then the tint, I noticed that the skin was showing a little bit purple. You can see kind of the redness happening in the cheeks. And so you can balance that out by pulling it into the green just a little bit. And it becomes more of that like...
What a difference.
Right? That like soft, bright, glowing skin kind of thing, right? So coming down here, we can change the texture and clarity. So here's the difference between texture and clarity. Texture is for details, right?
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and I'm going to zoom in like a lot to this hair. And when we increase the texture, it is going to see how it's doing those details. So less texture is going to make it blurry all the way up. It's changing the little details of the hair. So if you change the clarity, it's changing the large details. And look at the face that's changing on the clarity. So the clarity at 0, texture up. Nothing really happens to the face very much. But with the clarity, it's like hitting that face. So I do want to have a little bit of that kind of contrast. And then let's go ahead and dehaze. That's just going to, we don't want to dehaze anything.
Nah.
So I might increase the sharpness just to make him really pop on this.
Okay.
And that looks pretty good to me. So it's looking pretty good. Let's do the before and after to make sure it's not too crazy.
Wow.
Right? So
again, studio quality right off the bat.
Studio quality right off the bat. So now we need to play around with the background here, right? And balance everything out. And we're going to use a different gradient to really mess around with what this photo actually looks like, right? You can really play around and kind of fake how photos look.
Look out, Peter.
Look out. So we are going to go ahead and invert and duplicate. Sorry, duplicate and invert, other way around. So now we have a mask of just the sky. Here's where we want to start balancing things. So I'm going to take the temperature, very warm, right? It was a bright, sunny day. So I'm going to pull the temperature much warmer. And we also notice that he is not popping off the background as much. So we're going to bring that exposure down a little bit in the background.
Perfect.
As if maybe it was a little bit of an like overcast sunny day. Now, we're noticing the building here is a little bit different from what's happening in the sky.
Feels a little cloudy, maybe a little to the right.
Yes. So here, this would be a highlight. And so I'm going to bring the highlights down. And you can see that it's actually going to pull that sky down quite a bit. If I pull the whites down, it's also going to pull it down quite a bit as well. So I do want it to be sunny. So maybe we give it a little bit of glow there. And the shadows maybe go up and the blacks just a little bit. I want it to be a little bit more sunny in that background, but I also want to have some contrast. Now, with this, it's going to be great for clarity, right? Because it's going to give us that depth. If we just change the texture, there's like no detail here. And so it's not going to change that much.
Gotcha.
But if we change the clarity, boom, it's going to really pump that
Look at
detail.
that. Wow.
That's looking good. It's a little too warm for me. Let's go ahead and pull that. I want it to feel more like, just a little bit of a city and then a little bit of that green in there. All right, so that's looking pretty good to me. And let's do one more thing that I like to cheat to really like make things look like they're real. So right now I'm looking at the shadows. So let's look at the shadow under the chin. It looks like the light of the sun is coming from the top down, right? It's pretty much straight down. What I can do to cheat is I'm going to make a mask, and we're just going to create a new mask. And then we are going to make a linear gradient from the top down, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to grab the top and just bring this top down. And this is going to be quote unquote sunlight. So I'm going to make this a little bit brighter using the exposure right there. And then I'm also going to make it a little bit warmer.
Yellow?
Right there.
Yeah.
Yep. So it feels like the sunlight is kind of bouncing in.
Now it's purposely like defined.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
You're giving the light source that already should be there, but we're making it more visible.
Exactly. And then something else that I'll do that's cheating. If I have a big open space of kind of sky like this, I'll put in a fake sun. So we're going to click on create new mask. I'm going to do a radio gradient and watch this. I'm just going to pull out a nice big radio gradient that goes over the background and the subject. And use that to add just a little bit of interest and glow. And you can see that I'm kind of blowing out the sky there.
Yes.
So that we still have
much better.
Right? A little bit of interest there, but it's allowing it to go over his face so it feels like it is all one. And he says he looks a little jaundiced, a little bit too yellow. That's like my thing, is making people too yellow. 100%. So let's pull this back a little bit. We don't want it that blue. We're going to pull it back just a little bit, and I'll give you a little bit more on the... Oh, we didn't change your highlights and shadows. That's why it doesn't look great.
That's a great contrast.
Yeah, so let's give you some nice highlights and shadows. That's going to allow that yellow to kind of go away. There we go. It still looks a little too purple to me, so I'm going to grab a little more green in here.
There we go.
All right. Looks good to me. Maybe it's a little bit too bright. Let's pull the exposure down just a tiny little bit.
There you go.
All right, we're back.
Should we do a before and after?
Let's do a before and after here. I am going to before and after. Watch this. Before.
Wow.
After. Right?
It's a whole other photo shoot.
It's a whole other photo shoot.
Yeah. I love even how the reflections and the lights in the buildings have almost turned to more reflective jewel tone kind of vibe. Like they're a little more like saturated. They're just a little bit more glimmer. And I think that's like, that adds the whole personality to the image that you've changed. It's so great.
Absolutely. I love
the good outer glow around his, like the right side of his jaw. Did you see the difference there?
Yep.
So like, yeah, it's like when you turn it off, there's just a fine, it just goes from a dark cheek to a light background. Now there's a bit of like interaction. It really is nice.
Yep. And like we said, the sun is coming straight down here and we lose his body completely. But when we made those adjustments, we really got the highlight and it separates him from the background, right? It gives him some good contrast. So he's really popping off of the background. So this looks great. Congratulations. You did it. I'll export this and I will get it back to you somehow.
That's great.
Is the answer.
I love the
yes.
way that came out.
Right? Magic.
That's really cool.
It is. It is
really
new.
Great.
All right, Nick, that I think is pretty much all that we have to show off today. We've got 4 or 5 minutes left. Let me check to see if anyone has
Do we get anybody
posted.
Else?
Yeah, posted in there. Can you talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing next week and maybe what you want to hope to show next week? Because I know that you love 3D stuff. What would be something that you're like, I'm so excited to like talk about X, Y, or Z?
I love the idea of Illustrator getting even better. They've made a huge leap with 3D last year, and they showed all of that great stuff, particularly like the type treatments that we were doing. And I've incorporated that into so many different projects lately. I can't wait to see some new controllable kind of adaptions, maybe presets. We haven't even dug deep yet to see what we're going to be talking about next week when it comes to these new 3D things that are going to be in Illustrator. But I'm hoping it's just more stuff I can use in real life, impress the clients, make for better packaging, better branding. I do know one of the things I looked back at the other day was some of the stuff I posted on Twitter and on Instagram when they first came out with some of those new 3D tools. The engagement they got was crazy. So people are waiting for this kind of stuff. So
and if you're a complete newbie, again, tune in every single day next week, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. I will be taking you step by step on how to use 3D, start to finish. We'll be starting out with just making shapes. Then we'll do revolves, inflates, lighting, all kinds of materials. We'll do everything. So tune in for those. And I do want to show you one more thing before we leave. I do have your photo for you, Frank. I have it exported it. So I will, that was for Peter. Check this out. If I want to, I can come in here and go to File, Edit in Photoshop. And I can use a kind of cross-platform workflow by clicking on Edit in Photoshop. And now I have my photo in Photoshop. So if I want to come in here, and this is something that I like to do, and I'm not going to do it it doesn't work for this photo, but this is something that I like to do with eyes, is I will make a new layer, Control-Shift-N. I will set that to Overlay and click this 50% opacity. And then grab the Dodge and Burn tool, which is just O. And I'll come in here to the eyes and watch what I do here. This is a little hack to really give some dimension. Is we're going to grab the Dodge tool, which makes things lighter. And we're going to grab wherever that highlight is in the eye. You can see right there. We're just going to give it a nice little highlight. And then on the opposite side, we're going to give a little highlight as well. Give it a little bit of glow. And you're just going at a 45-degree angle to really make it pop. And watch, if I zoom out just a little bit to get rid of these pixels, you'll see kind of the before and after in the eyes. See how it gives it just a little bit of extra like oomph?
You gave Peter that twinkle in the eye. Look at that.
Yep, little twinkle in the eye. So hit it at those 45s. I don't think it's fitting for this photo, for like a professional kind of headshot kind of thing. But if you're working with a model and doing retouching, this is such a secret weapon to make it look like they just have the most gorgeous eyes ever. Just 45-degree angle right there.
I love that. That's a great little tip on the eye. It makes a huge difference.
Right? Huge difference. I'm going to post this in our Discord. We've got our revised headshot for me. Just posted it in there. And if you have not joined our Discord already, go do it. Join that Discord. The link is right over there. Discord.gg/ACC. If you're watching the replay, it is down in the description. And it is probably in the chat as well if you're watching the live stream. Nick, as always, it's a Thursday, not a Friday. So maybe give us some advice and close us out with some Nick wisdom to get us through Friday into Saturday. What do you got for us, Nick?
I'm just going to say make your Friday everything you can tomorrow. If you have a few extra hours because there's no office hours, make it the best. I know I'm going to, and I know this guy's going to. So,
oh yeah,
for sure.
Yep. No office hours, only extra hours in your weekend. So we'll see you next week for a whole bunch of 3D at our regular time, 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. And next week, Nick, it's going to be a special one because we're doing a watch party. We'll be hanging out in our Discord and watching the video because we want to show you all the 3D features. It's really hard for me to stream and 3D at the same time. So it will be perfectly set up for you. We will have no issues. And we will be watching that together over in Discord as well as here on Behance. So we'll see you next week for another episode of Adobe Office Hours. Bye.
Bye, y'all.